day two of the hike. We've woken up into complete clouds. We can see none of the mountains that surround us. We are completely enclosed. Pretty much our rock circle, our tent, and us.
It starts to rain.
And it started to rain. Things kind of got really serious. They got really real, really fast. So let's be clear. We didn't have any cameras out at this point. We had a mere camera phone, which you may see some of the photos from. But there was no shooting at this point. So packed up our gear. We started our descent.
We came across this. Where it became real for me was we came across this kind of plateau or ridge. It was open and allowed the wind to just pretty much unleash itself, and it became very, very cold.
And we kept descending, kind of crossing kind of the volcanic sand fields. We went through some crevasses that were snow covered, that were kind of broken snow. You could see big gaping holes in the snowpack.
You could see the river underneath.
The winds really were picking up at this point, so we were probably a sustained 25 to 30 knots coming out of the west, and rain that was pretty much sideways at this point.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite a while.
So I don't think it ever got out of the 30s Fahrenheit for us. It was, I think, sleeting at one point and then raining for the rest. So we made it across kind of the plateau through these ice sheets, and then we had a big climb up to this first plateau that we had, and I think this was one of the worst climbs, I want to say, out of the entire trip, because we were drenched pretty much to the bone, as much as our rain gear would allow, and it was pretty much a vertical climb up a mud volcanic sand bank, probably at least 800 to 1,000 feet, I want to say.
And then when we came over the final ridge, or kind of once we peaked, it was just jaw-dropping, because it changed from this whole muddy volcanic climate to kind of, the only way to describe it is moss covering every single piece of mountain and earth that you can see. Mind you, we're still in rain at this point, but it was just incredible how quickly it changed to this lush, mossy, really that's all that I can say.
It was a rainforest
without trees,
in Arctic temperatures, without trees.
So a moss forest.
We get to the bottom, we get to a river that we have to cross that was kind of shin deep and was moving pretty good because of the rain. So we kind of picked our way across that and got up to the flat kind of plateau on the other side, and we hoofed it all the way to the second camp that I can't pronounce.
Hvanngil?
I like it, Brandon. That works. So we got to whatever the name of that camp was, and found everything to be kind of locked up and closed. So they didn't have any guests at that point. There were a few other hikers that showed up right around when we did, and so we were kind of roosting behind the buildings to try and get some kind of solace from the wind, because the gusts had picked up to probably around 40 at that point. The rain was kind of off and on in waves, but the wind was still going like crazy, and we were pretty cooked at that point. We were frozen just because of how cold it was. So
we even hid in the bathrooms because it was.
We ducked in
just to get out of the wind,
right, wherever we could, and so we figured out that there was people actually inside the trail or the hut office. So we went and talked to them and figured out that probably our best shot was to move on to the alternative camp, which was about 5 kilometers down the trail. So we decided to head off to the east, which involved us redonning our packs, which we weren't planning on, and hiking off into the cold and the rain. Again,
and once we could see the hut, it was all downhill. Then a river crossing. Then finally, it was a 2-track to the hut. Surprisingly, the rain stopped as soon as we hit the hut. As soon as we came down.
Well, when you come inside
the
rain
rain
there's
stopped.
no rain.
Oh, inside, yeah. So there's no wind either.
Surprise.
Yeah.
So we met with the hut master, and she was very kind. and she gave us our room, which is a room that has like, I don't know, there's 7 or 8 bunk beds in it.
It's hostel style. They can hold up to 20 people.
We were the only people there at that time, so we immediately we turned on the heater. She showed us how to turn on the stove. We turned on the heater and started to dry our things sort of systematically. And we're the only people in this 20-person room, so we were able to do this. We had, you know, multiple cups of tea and played cards, which I won. And then we
You just want to try again, sir?
Yeah, we're at the second hut. We're staying in a communal living situation. Chris is snoring throughout the entire evening, pissing off multiple nations, and we made the decision to get up at 5:45 the next morning to basically condense the last 2 days of the hike into one. Yeah.
But we did it for
Harambe and Donald.